Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Tariq Amin, lecturer, Department of English, Kohat University of Science and Technology, Kohat. In today's class, we are going to read about the function of past tense. This is the 19th lecture of the course Functional English. The course code is ENG 101. We will discuss the uses of past tense in this class. There are four types of past tense. The first one is simple past tense. The second one is past continuous tense. The third one is past perfect tense. And the last one is past perfect continuous tense. Before going into the details of past tense, let's revise the previous class. In the previous class, we had discussed what a tense is and we had discussed the different uses of present tense. We had discussed that a tense is the form of a verb that indicates the time and state of an action. It indicates the time of an action as well as the state of an action. It shows that uh, it indicates the present time of an action. It indicates the past time of an action, and it also indicates the future time of an action. A form of verb that indicates the present time of an action is said to be in the present tense, and a form of verb that indicates the past time of an action is said to be in the past tense, and a form of verb that indicates the future time of an action is said to be in the future tense. For example, he plays cricket. The verb plays is a form of verb play that indicates the present time of an action in action, whereas he played cricket. The verb played indicates the past time of the action, whereas he will play cricket. The verb will play indicates the future time of an action. So these different forms of verb indicate different time of an action. The first sentence, he plays cricket. The verb plays indicates the present time. The verb played indicates the past time, whereas will play indicates the future time of an action. And we had discussed some of the uses of present tense and the different types are the subtypes of present tense. And let's discuss past tense. Okay, what is past tense? Past tense is a form of verb that indicates the past time of an action. For example, he played cricket. Played is a form of verb that indicates the past time of an action. So it is said to be in the past tense. Now, there are some of the uses of simple past tense. Simple past is used to indicate an action that completed in the past. It often occurs with adverbs or adverb phrases of past time. For example, the steamer sailed yesterday. In this example, yesterday is adverb of time because it shows the time of an action. It is adverb of time and it is adverb of past time. In the second example, I received his letter a week ago. A week ago is an adverb phrase of past time. It is not adverb, it is adverb phrase. It is adverb phrase of past time. And she left school last year. In this example, to last year is an adverb phrase of past time. And the simple past is used to indicate the action completed in the past, and we see that in with all of these examples, example number 1, example number 2, example number 3, we can see that adverbs or adverb phrases of past time have been used with these examples, and they refers to the past time of an action. Sometimes this tense is used without an adverb of time. Sometimes it is used without adverb of time. In such cases, the time may either be implied, it may either be indicated by the context. The time may be either implied or indicated by the context. In the previous slide, we discussed that with simple past tense, we most of the time use or we usually use adverb or adverb phrase of past time, but there are cases where we don't use adverb of time. In such cases, for example, what are those cases? In such cases where the time of the action may be either implied, if the time of the action is implied, or it can be implied from the very sentence. In such sort of sentences, we don't use adverb or adverb phrases or phrase of past time. And the second case is where the time of the action is indicated by the context. In such cases, we also don't use adverb or adverb phrase of past time. Let's discuss the below examples. For example, I learnt English in Islamabad. Now, how the time of the action is indicated and how the time of the action is implied. For example, someone may know that I was in Islamabad in 2019, or I was in Islamabad in March 2019. So I was in Islamabad in 2019 or in March 2019. So the very time of the action can be implied or can be indicated or can be implied by the word in Islamabad. I didn't sleep well. So I didn't sleep well means I didn't sleep last night. So the time of the action is implied. It is indicated by the context. Pakistan defeated India and the last World Cup. When was the last World Cup played? It was played in 2015, I guess. So Pakistan defeated India in the 2015. So the time of the action is implied. Okay, simple past is also used for past habits. It is also used for past habits. How? Let's discuss examples. He studied many hours every day. He studied many hours every day. It is simple past tense and it is used to refer to past habit, or we can say that it indicates past habit of a particular person, that he studied many hours every day. It was his habit to study for many hours every day. So it indicates the past habits. She always carried an umbrella. It was her habit in the past. It was her habit to carry her umbrella each and every time. Wherever she used to go, she used to carry her umbrella all the time. So it was her habit. And this simple past has been used to indicate the past habit of a particular girl, of a particular woman. The second type of past tense is past continuous tense. The past continuous is used to denote an action going on at some time in the past. The time of the action may or may not be indicated. Past continuous is used to refer to actions going on at some point or at some time in the past. And the time of the action may not be indicated. For example, we were watching TV all evening and it was getting darker. When I saw him, he was playing chess. As in the last example above, we can see that the past continuous and past simple past are used together in this very example. Example number 3, we can see that the past continuous and simple past are used together. The very first class, that is when I saw him, it is simple past. And he was playing cricket, we can see that it is past continuous tense. It is a progressive clause or a progressive sentence. So both the past continuous and simple past are used together. They are used together when a new action happens in the middle of a longer action. They are used together when a new action happens in the middle of a longer action. The simple past is used for the new action, and the past continuous tense is used for the older action. In this example number 3, when I saw him, this is a new action, and he was playing chess is the earlier action, whereas the new action is indicated by the simple past, and the older or the earlier action is indicated by the or is presented by the past continuous tense. Now, past perfect tense. The past perfect describes an action completed before a certain moment in the past. It is used to describe an action that completed before a certain moment in the past. That completed before a certain moment in the past. How? For example, I met him in New Delhi in 1996. When did I meet him? I met him in New Delhi in 1996. I had seen him last 5 years before. I had finished the book before he came. And these are the examples of past perfect tense where they indicate action that completed before certain moments in the past. If two actions happen in the past, like in the previous example, if two actions happen in the past, it may be necessary to show which action happened earlier than the other. The past perfect is mainly used in such situations. The simple past is used in one class, and past perfect is used in the other class. For example, when I reached the station, the train had started. The train had started is one action, and when I reached the station is another action. It is another action. Whereas the train had started, it is past perfect tense, and when I reached the station is past simple past tense. Simple past tense is used for the new uh, it is used for the new action, whereas the early past perfect tense is used for the earlier actions. There are two clauses in this example. The first one is when I reached the station. It represents one action, whereas in the second clause, the train had started, it represents the other action. The train had started. The train had started is an action, and it took place, or it happened earlier. It happened earlier than the second action. That is when I reached the station. When I reached the station is an action that took place, or that happened after the earlier action. That is, the train had started. So in such situations, it may or may not be necessary to show which action happened earlier than the other. So we can show such sort of action with the help of past perfect tense and past simple past tense. In the second example, I had done my exercise. It is one class. When he came to see me, this is another class. When he came to see me is the second action, whereas the first action is I had done my exercise. I had done my exercise in action that happened earlier than the other action, which is when he came to see me. When he came to see me, I had done my exercise. In the third example, I had written the letter before he arrived. Before he arrived is the second action, and I had written the letter is the earlier action. Or in other words, we can say that the first class I had written the letter represents, or it indicates an action that happened earlier than the other action, that is when he arrived. So if two actions happen in the past, and it is necessary to show which action happened earlier than the other,
We can use past perfect tense, and we can also use simple past tense to differentiate between the time of the actions. Past perfect continuous tense is the other type of past tense. The past perfect continuous tense is used for an action began before a certain point in the past and continued up to that time. For example, at that time he had been writing a novel for 2 months. The second example is when Mr. Kamal came to school in 1995. Mr. Rahman had already been teaching there for 5 years. So this is past perfect continuous tense, and it is used to indicate an action that began before a certain point in the time and continued up to that time. That was all about today's class. Let's revise the class. In today's class, we discussed what a past tense is and what are the uses of the different types of past tense, that are simple past tense, past continuous tense, past perfect tense, and past perfect continuous tense. We discussed that a form of verb that indicates the past time of an action is said to be in the past tense, and tense is a form of verb that indicates the time and state of an action. And we discussed the different usages of simple past tense. We discussed that simple past is used to indicate an action completed in the past. We discussed that it is also used for past habits. And we discussed that past continuous is used to denote action going on at some time in the past. We discussed that past perfect tense is used to show actions completed before a certain moment in the past. And we also discussed past perfect continuous tense, that it is used for an action that began before a certain point in time in the past and continued up to that time. And one very important point that we discussed in today's class was that most of the time we use adverb or adverb phrase of past time with the simple past tense, but it is not necessary that we always use adverb or adverb phrase of past time in sentences. There are some cases where we don't use adverb or adverb phrases of past time in sentences when the time of the action is implied or when the time of the action is indicated by the context. In such cases, we don't use adverb or adverb phrases of past time in sentences. Thank you very much for watching the video. Allah Hafiz.